And there we go. Audio. Since no one usually gets here for the first, I don't know, 2 minutes. Hi, Caroline. Where's Caroline from? I can't hear you, but not 100%. Um, no, hold on. I'll make sure it's not me. Make sure it's my thing's working okay. Microphone two, microphone two. Should be all right. Should be able to hear me okay. Maybe I wasn't close enough. I was not enunciating properly. I wasn't doing my thing. So, there. Hopefully I'm enunciating properly. There we go. See, people start propagating now that it's 3 minutes in, three people. So that's how it works. Hopes everyone's Thursday went well today. It was a little rainy here, which was fine. Didn't really care too much. The news was entertaining, to say the very least. It was all about that. My expression was, let them cook. Let them cook. Can you hear me better now, Caroline? Am I a little better? Not my end, your end? We better? We good? Audio okay? Everyone happy? You have to let me know. I'm the one who, I can't tell. I haven't gotten headphones yet. I just don't want to wear headphones. I figured that's, if I'm wearing headphones, doesn't it look kind of like ridiculous? Shouldn't I not be able to do that? I don't know. Well, hopefully everyone had a good Thursday and ready for a good Friday. Not that it's Good Friday because that was before Easter, and it's way past Easter because it's like June. So we're no longer near that season. But I haven't even taken Easter stuff down yet because I'm lazy and busy. So I haven't done that. My apologies to everyone's sensibilities that I'm that guy that still has decorations up weeks, if not months after the holiday. And you have to live with that neighbor. At least it's not my neighbor that has the dog that barks all the time. I know they probably won't watch this, and they do. Sorry, but they leave their dog out all the time and it barks, and it's just a bit annoying. But anyway, all right, so let's see what went on today. So today we got ready for the wine festival. I had 100 cases of wine delivered yesterday, but the cooler wasn't working, so I had to go labor and work outside. See, dirty hands, very dirty hands, very dirty hands. I had to labor outside and get the cooler to work so that we'd have cold wine for Saturday's wine festival. My banners arrived. I loaded a bike rack, and I even had Natasha come down because if you're a fan of the station and you're going to come down, I'm going to have a litany of swag shirts. There's some 92.9 shirts. There's some 1025 shirts. There's some cool shirts. And I got a lot of just swaggy, crappy shirts that I'm going to sell for like, I don't know, $2, like a Corona shirt or something. Someone's got to pay the way. That's how it works. Someone's got to pay the bills. Clearly I'm not, because I have the ability to sit here and just ramble at 11 o'clock at night on any given night because I don't have any time. But look, see, you can see because, where am I at here? Oh, wait. So I did a thing. So I'll have to come back to this. But see my shirt tonight, the one I'm wearing, see, never trust a fish. Can we see that okay? Never trust a fish. See, never trust a fish. Okay? There's a reason you should never trust a fish, okay? The reason that you should never trust a fish is because, ready? Look, ta-da! There it is. See? It's on the Randsanity website. Growing up spending summers in the ocean, that lingering, what the boop, just brushed against me feeling never leaves. Unless you're in a swimming pool or the crystal clear waters of the Caribbean, or maybe Lake Tahoe, where unlimited visibility lets you see what bumped into you is nothing more than a pool noodle or another biped, then I'm talking about a completely different kind of encounter. Consider this your friendly warning. Be wary of our aquatic neighbors, our fishy friends, and never trust a fish. And what about the whole short-term memory thing and the expression, something fishy is going on? How could you even expect them to keep a secret? I mean, that's why you never trust a fish. Because how can you trust a fish? I'm just saying. So, in fact, see, I'm doing other things. So I'm building the actual t-shirt website, which again, you can actually see what it looks like. Ready? And, ooh, the preview, there it is. The very first time, there is the preview. That is what it looks like. That is the cover of it. And that is actually from Lake Tahoe when I was just out there recently. So you can see the absolute beautiful water that's out there, my very sunburned face, the windswept hair, and snow-capped mountains in the distance. It was quite the surreal experience. I highly recommend, if you've never been to Tahoe, to at least check it out because it was really beautiful. Got to tell you, enjoyed the heck out of that experience. But it also made for a great photograph that I saw later. I'm like, wait, that should be a cover photo. And so it is. So see, I'm doing stuff. I'm trying to get this whole Shopify store built. And I'm learning, I'm learning. I'm trying my best. It's hard to be an old dog learning new tricks, but we carry on. We forge ahead. That's all you can do, okay? Even when the craziness of the world is everywhere at this point. And I do mean craziness. You should, in fact, soldier on forward. So those are my positive words of encouragement, that's what we have to do. On the not so encouraging words, there was a crazy article, because remember, I'm always going to fall down the AI rabbit hole. There was a crazy article in the New York Times today about how checking and making sure, you make sure airplane goes to wind tunnel and it works right. They were testing an AI, and the AI, non-fictional now. It basically figured out how it didn't want to get turned off. So it said, well, I'm going to turn you off soon because I'm going to go use a different AI. And it had access to your emails. It realizes that you've hinted that you're having an affair with on your wife. So the AI, in fact, threatens you that it's going to tell your wife that you're having an affair if you turn it off and go somewhere else. And this is real. This was not a made-up scenario. They gave all the parameters to it, but AI wrote its own program about how it wasn't going to get turned off. It's going to kill us all, just so you know. I would say dive right in. Let's use it, because you might as well. If we're going to hand it the keys to the castle, you might as well enjoy the castle while we can. But yeah, that's a thing. So I think I have my first interview set up. So I'm going to work on getting actual human beings to come out here at 11 o'clock at night, because that's when I'm going to do these. I'm not going to do these at 8 o'clock in the evening ever. I've decided that it's going to be a nighttime thing. So it'll be a little later, and you can always watch them later if you don't want to stay up late. But if you're a night owl, perfect. Unless, of course, you're on the West Coast, because then it's like 8 o'clock. So, but I don't know how many people are on the West Coast that are actually watching. But you never know. Maybe this will become a West Coast thing, if not an East Coast thing. But anyway, I think I have my first interview person lined up. He's a musician. He's here locally, and I've known for quite some time. But he's also quite interesting character, and he is, in fact, a character. He was on Holy Moly, which is a reality TV show where you golf, because he has his own golf course. He also was in Beast Games Season 1 last year, and his name is Lizard McGee. So, also in a band, as I aforementioned earlier. So, so I think I'm going to try and get Lizard down here to be my first live human guest. And we'll just talk about his experiences on reality TV, on Beast Games, and what it's like to be a musician these days. Because it's changed. It's changed for all the musicians. So that's just something fun. And he's a good cat. He's very interesting. He's tall too. He's like 6'6". So I'll have to adjust camera height and everything else for him. But that's up and coming. I'm working on trying to create this. I'm kind of honing in my paths, trying to get some parameters, so it's not just a 45-minute, 50-minute ramble session every week, every night, every day, as I monologue. But I digress. Okay, so tonight was the third episode of the day tripping that I did with Stephen He. And I don't know if you caught it yet, but you should have by now because, I mean, seriously, it's 11 o'clock at night. That was 3 hours ago. What the hell? Okay? I mean, the view count should be way up by now. So I figured I would go ahead and play it for us. It's only 9 minutes. So I figured I'd play it because that's the important part that, I want to play it for you. Wait, I do have to make a change to the settings though, so bear with me. I'll try and talk through it. What I have to do is I have to go ahead and put the settings so that the media plays through the actual computer and not through the speakers. Because if it does play through the speakers, then I think it's not as good for the audience. And I think that it also is muffled and garbled and everything else. So there we go, speaker headphones. So Intel display. I think that's it. I think I did it that quickly. I'm getting okay at this. I'm not horrible anymore. All right. So, yeah, let's sit back and relax, and we're going to go ahead and watch this episode of Day Trip. And I can narrate along with it, so because that's the best part about it. So there you go. See, this is Pittsburgh. Look, there I am with Stephen He. So Stephen's talking about food and that he's describing this restaurant, Dianoia's, which is a really nice place in Pittsburgh. But he forgot to feed me again. And he thinks it's hilarious because that's what he did. But he knows a place because he always knows a place. So now we're going to go to this other place to get food for me. So we're going to move forward because, that's what really doesn't matter. I'm just going to get to the point where, it's me because isn't that the whole point of this? Like the joke is that I don't really, I'm not going to narrate the whole 9 minutes of this thing. I'll just narrate when I'm on camera. Isn't that what we really want? Or at least what I really want? So look, it's Heinz verified. And look, yay, back me, food, woo! And it was not a burger, which I was excited about because I've had a bite of a burger and a bite of a burger, and it was chicken and waffles. And it was, I was all excited. And then as he's telling me that there's this delicious chili sauce on it, I took a bite. And if you don't know me, what you will never, ever see me do is the one chip challenge. And you'll never see me do hot wings or anything of that nature because I was raised in a very bland household, Irish and German. So spicy for me literally is ketchup. I sweat eating ketchup. So that was actually really spicy. And, I was starving. So sure, I'm going to take a second bite, but it was hot. And I was, like, okay, well. So once again, I was not given my necessary caloric intake, only partially. So the ongoing joke continues, and I am once again not properly fed as we left this place, which was in fact Pittsburgh, and headed to Cleveland. So Cleveland rocks, and in fact, that is where we will be next. So, what's so funny? I'm an idiot, aren't I? I never actually... I didn't change the cameras. Yeah, I see that now. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for saying that. All right. Well, hey, that's what I get. Take two. So I'm going to go ahead and I'll take full credit for my complete lack of getting that done properly. Oh, man, that's actually really funny. Sorry. I'm cracking myself up here because I totally skipped past what I was going to show you. So I can do this again. Let's try that again. All right. Here we go. Now I'll actually put the right thing on. So there. Now you should actually be able to see it. So, look, this is Pittsburgh, and we're driving, and there I am. And he's talking about and describing Dianoia's, the restaurant that they went and ate at. And this is where I actually got the cookie from the girls that I bribed. Well, I didn't bribe them. They offered, but to get Stephen's autograph. So, yes, Stephen He, very, very nice, very funny actor. But again, we're going to fast forward because this part really doesn't matter because I'm not in it, right? I mean, isn't that kind of what I said a minute ago? We're only going to do the parts that I'm actually in because that's the whole point of this. If I'm going to narrate it, I'm going to narrate the parts that I'm in. So again, I'm in the end part of it. Heinz verified once again. And there it is. Yay, food. See, woo, food. And again, it was chicken and waffle. And it was, the bite I got was good. It was, in fact, spicy, though. And I really am not kidding you that I really, really don't do well with spiciness. So maybe one day I will actually do some sort of a wing challenge. But honestly, it's going to be like medium. Because I cannot eat hot food. I really can't. And it's amusing because I will totally sweat out, and I don't sweat out anywhere except from the neck up. Like it'll be raining from my forehead and my face, but I don't pit out. So, but there you go. Stephen, once again, taking the food away from me as we get ready to leave Pittsburgh and take the very short drive to Cleveland, Ohio, where I did in fact steal a cone. One of those tall parking cones I stole from Cleveland, and it made it all the way to Chicago because I couldn't find a place to park the van. That was a whole thing in itself, parking the van. So I won't throw anyone under the bus or under the van, but that became a whole thing where when we got to Pittsburgh, it was like, okay, so, we're all set. We're going to have this place to park. Okay, guess what? Didn't have a place to park because the van was 8.5 feet tall and I couldn't park in the parking garage in Pittsburgh. So I, of course, in my usual fashion, I walked down the street. I went to another hotel that had an open air parking lot. I found the valet dude and I'm like, yo, bro, hey, what's up? So I got this van problem that I need to park. I see some other vans parked over there. I was like, peeling it off the wallet. I'm like, what's it going to take for me to park this van here for the next 4 days? So it actually, oddly enough, to valet park at the hotel, it was $22 a night, and I paid him $20 a night. So I wound up saving $8 whole by parking at a different hotel in the surface lot as opposed to the hotel we were staying at because I couldn't park in the garage. Needless to say, when we got to Cleveland, parking's covered. We got parking. We're all set. It wasn't. It wasn't all set. Not again. So I had nowhere to park the damn van. So I was going to park it off of Superior, and I was like a mile away because I needed to find an open air surface parking lot for this 8.5-foot van because I don't know about you, but parking garages typically don't have that height. They've got the big yellow bar that says 6'6", and that's it. And, oh yeah, you can park your SUV in there, but not an 8.5-foot van. So I drove and I'm like, oh, this sucks. I don't really want to walk 1.5 miles back because, I have to go take the van back each day and then pick it up early in the morning. We had a call time of 6 a.m. one morning. So that means that's an hour earlier than everybody else because I had to walk down to get the van, take a scooter, bring the van back. So I didn't. So again, I just went and I'm like, valet, and I'm like, yo, man, I'm like, so I got this tall van and I really don't know what to do with it when I'm parking, And he goes, you can park across the street, man. No one's going to hassle you. I'm like, really? He's like, yeah. He goes, you see that spot right there? I was like, the one near the fire hydrant? He goes, yeah, the one that's right behind it. That's actually a spot. He goes, no one will hassle you, man. I was like, okay. I was like, well, here, I gave him a 20, and I said, just keep an eye on it for me. And of course, there was one of those tall parking cones. You see construction cones that was in the actually hotel's side of the street. So I grabbed that, walked over, and put it right behind the van. So when I left him, everyone's like, well, did you find a place to park the van? I'm like, yeah, I did. It's right there across the street. So in the morning, when I went to go ahead and get the van, I just took the cone and put it in the parking space. That way, I was like, well, let's see if anybody has the, cojones to move the parking spot for themselves. Gone all day, came back the night, and guess where I got to park again? Right where the cone was. And that worked for 4 days. Once again, I was like, yeah, people just don't move cones. I have one in my car, one of those little pop-up ones. It's flat, so you can actually hide it under your seat and put it down because you need to. But then it went with us all the way to Chicago because I did the same thing. Chicago was the best, though. Okay, this was perfect. And again, no blame because it happens. So they have parking. They have an open air parking lot right across from the hotel. I'm like, cool. This is great. We pull up, and I don't know if you've been to Chicago, but again, they've got this giant ass yellow steel bar that says parking height 6 foot. I'm like, I can't park here. Like, well, it's a big open parking lot. I said, yes, but the gate to go into it is, again, this giant yellow steel bar that will hit the middle of the windshield. So this one was perfect because it's Chicago. It's not Pittsburgh. It's not Cleveland. It is a giant ass city. And you can't park commercial vehicles on the street overnight. One. Two, you have to download the app to park like every other big city, but you can't park commercial vehicles or recreational vehicles in surface lots that are further away. I wound up having to find a truck parking space lot thing that I found online where you can park trucks. It was 32 minutes away. A 32-minute drive. I had to drive the van. And then I had to get an Uber back. Now, the Uber back the ride was pretty funny because I'm sitting there and, boom, here comes this guy. He finds me. And I'm like way hidden in this weird back parking lot. And not in the best part of Chicago, not going to lie. But, every city has bad parts. This wasn't a great part. But he comes zooming up in his brand new Tesla. And I've got bags with me because, I've been gone all day and I didn't get to the hotel yet. And I have to park the van. So, and this is now 2.5 hours later. Everyone's been at the hotel for almost 3 hours. Yep. Heat pump. So everyone's at the hotel for close to 3 hours. And I have not even gotten to the hotel yet because I can't park this stupid van. So the Uber picks me up. And I've got a bag and stuff, and I need to throw it in. So he opens to the back of the Tesla up, and first thing I see is a flak jacket that says police. And I'm like, okay. So, and, there's his nightstick and his belt and his holster. And I'm like, okay, so this guy is a cop during the day, clearly, and this is his side job. His name was Angel. Angel, if you ever watch this, he was so nice. We chatted for like the entire half-hour drive back downtown. Just a really down-to-earth guy that we just, talked about the world. Talked about what I was doing in Chicago. He told me how he doesn't like to fly because he gets motion sickness from air travel. He'd been to New York a couple times and didn't do a ton of traveling. But real nice, grew up in Chicago, talked about how, Chicago's kind of tough, growing up there and everything else, but drive, 30 minutes to get back, and that was it. The next morning, I had to get up again so early to go get the stupid van because it's 30 minutes away. Thankfully, one of the guys in the production crew, we went in the van and picked up the van, and then I got it, and then that night, we found a closer spot at a mattress firm that I guess somebody knew somebody at the mattress firm, so we actually could go park in their parking lot, and it was only like a 12 or 15-minute drive. But still, it was not easy to park that thing in Chicago. So just so you know, if you have to park big vehicles in big cities, plan ahead because it's definitely not fly by the seat of your pants parking. And I do have parking game. Like I've got parking karma that I would easily turn in for lottery karma because I can pretty much find front row parking everywhere, all the time, every time. And that's just something that I don't know because I troll and I'll drive around or I just see something and make the U-turn because I don't care. But that's, parking, that big van, kind of a nightmare. And the other thing was, again, if you ever look at it, they wrapped the windows on the van. Not with a little like see-through stuff that sometimes has little pokey holes in it so you can kind of see through it. No. They wrapped that entire van. Every window except for the driver's side, passenger side, and windshield were wrapped and completely obscuring of the view. Could not see anything. Couldn't use the rearview mirror. Could only use the two side mirrors. And luckily there was a backup camera when I was going backwards, but I tried not to go backwards a whole lot because again, I'm in a giant ass van and, running into things is never a good thing. So that was one of those backstories to the whole experience of this adventure that was day tripping. Most exciting though, most enjoyable. And I really didn't care about the parking. It kind of added to the allure of it, except for the first day in Chicago, because that was 3 hours and that did suck. Not going to lie. Because I was like, I would like to go out to dinner, miss dinner. And that's a true story, because they waited patiently for like, I don't know, an hour and a half. And then when I didn't make it back, they finally all went to dinner. And so I did not get dinner that night at all, even with the crew. So, yes. So, in fact, I did lose some LBs when I was doing this. It was the Stephen He lack of calorie diet. So, if you've ever liked to learn how to lose weight, I can easily tell you just don't eat, and you will definitely lose some weight. So, it was kind of entertaining. So, let's see. Let's see. Eric Heiss, I love how this is supposed to be a behind-the-scenes episode 3, Pittsburgh, and he showed us 1 minute clip and then 20-minute parking story from Chicago, episode 7 through 9. Yes, that's true. That's true. It was about the parking. Pittsburgh behind the scenes. When we got to Pittsburgh, the day was the 29th. We left, so that was here. We left in one of those storm. When we got to Pittsburgh, it hailed, nickel-sized hail, and I think they had a tornado, like really close, if not like touchdown. It was close enough that power was knocked out everywhere. We were looking at the hotel windows, and I saw signs flying, and I mean like street signs ripping down kind of thing. One of the street lights, the entire light pole, the big, upside L bracket fell over and shattered in the street. We saw a guy fall down and like slide, garbage can sliding. The wind was insane. When Stephen was coming in from the airport, we had to pull over and go under a bridge because the hail was so bad. We thought it was going to break the windshield. It was crazy. So that was nuts. And then Cleveland was rain the entire time. The entire 3-day shoot was nothing but rain in Cleveland. So, yes, Pittsburgh was great, except for the, near deluge of death when we first got there. Was that enough Pittsburgh story? Sorry. I digress. That's what I do, okay? Remember to like and subscribe to this. I put the actual link in the comments section because Don, the idea guy, was like, you need to put the links in. I'm like, yes. I have to remember all these things. This is hard work. I've not been doing this kind of stuff using my brain for a long time. I've been kind of brain dead for the last 18 months, not having to really think much in the way of problem solving. It's like, okay, so do I use a nail or a screw to secure this board to this thing? That's about the extent of my brain trust recently. So you have to bear with me just a little bit. So, forget your Ransanity's link. Okay, what? Forgot. Yes. No, I didn't. I didn't forget it. Oh, I forgot that link. Yeah, I know. But the t-shirt shop is not done yet because I have not added payment to it. I did get an EIN, I told you last night, and I applied for it, and I actually got it already today, which was super nice. So I had to go to the bank today and open a bank account with the EIN number. So now I actually have a bank account for Randsanity. So now I can open the Shopify store once I go ahead and link a payment platform to it. So I got a question. Through Shopify, they do credit cards, PayPal, blah, blah, blah. But they don't do Apple Pay or Google Pay. But if I do it through Clover, they have Apple Pay and Google Play. Is that a big thing to have Apple Pay and Google Pay like on the shop, on the store? Well, I know people use it when they go to like the store. I don't have either of those two, just so you know. That's why I'm asking. Do people use that online as well? Apple Pay, Google Pay, or they just still use credit cards? Because it's not like you can tap it, or unless is it linked directly to your phone where you can just do it really easily? I ask because I don't know. So, damn, that's annoying. You would think this would stop working by some point, but Yeah, Shopify does not do that. Yes, it's a one-tap pay versus putting the credit card information. Right. So online you can just sort of hit one tap and it already knows it. Because like I can do it with my credit card. I have my credit card already done that way, so I can just use that credit card I always use. But Apple Pay is same thing. So all right, well maybe I'll look at doing Clover if it has a cheaper transactional percentage rate and per transaction fee. I mean, it's just pennies. But if it's going to be more convenient, I'm going to go with more convenient because I'm all about convenience for you. And yesterday I did wear my DYFJ shirt, which is do your effing job. And I did go to that chain coffee store again today because I had to go down to the old radio station building, which I still haven't sold, which I'm still salty about. But Natasia was there because we're getting a bunch of T-shirts for Saturday Wine Festival because I do have that one ready to go, I believe, and it doesn't have any volume, so you don't really need it. But remember, this thing, the Wine Festival, so this Columbus Summer Wine Fest, see, here, right, blah, 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 June 7th, Saturday, see the cool photographs? See here, McPherson Commons, Nationwide Boulevard, 2 sessions, 1 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 3:30, and then you can go to the Arts Festival afterwards. Well, Natasia, who used to work at the station, was down there today with me sorting through T-shirts, which I'll be selling relatively cheaply, like $10 for all the old staff shirts and stuff. So if you want to get a T-shirt, we've got multiple sizes. Come down, buy shirts. Even if you don't go to the wine festival, I'll have some bumper stickers from the 101 days. Got to sell it because at some point I have to get rid of the building. But the point of that beforehand was what? What did I lose my train of thought on? I was talking about the Asian. Oh, my DYFJ shirt, because I did go to said chain coffee shop, and once again, there was a line of cars going around the building because there always is. There's nobody in the store. There's like 4 people working behind the counter, and I walk in and I'm like, right with you. Have you been helped yet? No. I'm right with you. I'm like, and they're back there hustling, and I see the orders going out the window, and I'm like, okay. And then she finally comes over and she says, oh, what would you like? I was like, okay, and I literally have a $20 little bill sitting out on the counter. I mean, you can't, it's sitting there. What can I get for you? I was like, I take a mocha, hot mocha, please, and all the whipped cream. Okay. Would you like that hot or cold? I kid you not. I was like, hot, please. Okay. And what size did you want? I was like, the 16-ounce, please. Okay. And, okay. And she's, clicking away. And I'm like, how, mocha, 16-ounce, hot. How do you want to pay for it? And I swear to you, I was just like, I'm holding a $20 bill. Like, she's right here. I was like, cash? That's why I go get gas station coffee, because I don't have to interact with anybody. Yes, it's crappier coffee, but I'm telling you, some days I just can't win for losing. I just can't. And it just makes me crazy. Sorry if that's annoying to somebody, but it just... Deep cleansing breaths. Deep cleansing breaths. Let it all out. I got no hate. It's not hate. I promise. It's just lack of patience. Adult ADHD. Okay, that's what that is. Adult ADHD. Yeah, I'll have the vanilla. Right, exactly. Thank you. Thank you. It feels like a Larry David reference, even though it's not. It's just reality. It's exactly how that works. So I don't know what to tell you. So yes, Wine Festival, Saturday, McPherson Commons, basically down by Nationwide Boulevard. It's also Arts Festival. So go to the Arts Festival, spend money, but come and spend money with me first and get drunk and then go to Arts Festival and you'll buy more stuff and you'll be happy about it later. But that's how it works. impulse buying. I've never done that before, as I'm surrounded by everything in this room because I go to Lowe's and I can't not buy everything I see because I'm like, oh my God, I need this. Ooh, I like this. Ooh, I need this. That's why I don't ever go shopping, quote unquote. I don't shop. I go buying. I go with a very specific need and I kind of try and put my blinders on. So I just, and I still can't walk out of Lowe's without spending $100. I mean, a gallon of paint is $77 for the good stuff. And by the time I buy a roller, it's closer to 100, which is insane. I mean, seriously, I get a gallon of like the good exterior paint because I have to go paint some exterior paint things, and it's $100. That's nuts. Just saying. Crazy. Just saying, crazy. So this weekend, I'm going to try and do something different, I think, because Saturday I'm going to be tired. See, Saturday I have to start my day at 6 a.m. because I have to go down and get the whole wine fest prepped. I've got to go down to the site. I've got to map out physically, put these little, like, you know, the little, okay, that's now just getting really annoying. I think I'm going to have to fix that. I put those little flags in the ground, like you see when they do like construction markers, so I can put like 4 white ones down for a vendor, 4 red ones down for a wine tent. That way when the guys that get there to set up the tents, they know where to put them. Otherwise, they're going to set them up in the street, and there'll be no rhyme or reason to it. So someone has to actually do that stuff. So I'll have to get up at 6 to get there at 7 to do that for when they arrive at 8, because the vendors arrive at 10, and then the event starts at 1, and we'll get done at about 9 p.m. with cleanup because it goes to 7. So then I'll come home, I'll get a shower, and I'll do this at 11. So I'll be, 17 hours in at that point. So don't expect anything too coherent. Or maybe I'll be the most coherent. I don't know. But I'm going to try and take the GoPro. I went and got my cards today. So I'm going to try and take the GoPro. And if I can, I'm going to do the super time lapse, whatever it is. And that's the way it works. Because, I've got this GoPro, also have that GoPro, and I've got another one that's identical because I'm of the mindset, if you're going to buy one, buy 2. Always have 2 of everything. So I literally have 2 of everything. And that's just how that works. Because if one breaks or if you need it somewhere else, you have it. I have so many extension cords, you can't even imagine. If you need an extra extension cord, seriously, I may have an extra one to give you. I probably have 200 40 and 50-foot extension cords. After 30 years of purchasing cords and then having to condense them because of, cleaning this part of the building or this part of the building or a garage or a storage area or a shipping container or trailers. And yeah, I have a lot of extension cords. That's, everything gets an extension cord. Right, it's true. Everybody does. It's going to be like an Oprah moment. You get an extension cord. You get an extension cord. You get an extension cord. Everyone gets an extension cord. I don't know what to tell you. It's kind of daunting. The task that is before me is daunting, and that is cleaning that building out. Because at some point it will sell. Not soon enough for my likings. It is like a slow motion train wreck. I do get to enjoy the suffering of my dilemma every single day. So I always have that to look forward to when I get up. Another shining day with the radio station building still looming over my head, paying taxes on it and mortgage and all the things that come along with owning a property that's vacant and you can't use. But I do have lots of stuff. So, if there is things you're interested in, like literally pieces of the bar that I'm going to chainsaw, let me know. I will set up and do a garage/estate sale probably within the next month. I'm thinking I'm just going to use Natasha, and a couple of people can come down and help me sort. I'm just going to sell whatever. So there's still some gold records and autograph guitars. And as I've said, there is an eBay site up. I'm just so tired of doing it on eBay. It's such a hassle. Just because, again, I have to monitor and maintain it and deal with it, and I just don't want to. So, feel free. My failure is your benefit. No, but it's all right. That's the way it works. Can you still host parties, music in the big room? Yeah, sure, but no, I don't have any of the sound equipment. All the sound equipment got sold. I mean, I could host a party, but I don't have the mics, I don't have the cables, I don't have the cords, I don't have the mixing board, I don't have the speakers, I don't have any of that stuff. That was, sound guys bought a lot of that stuff. Event guys bought all the microphones and the mic stands, and except for the sound system I keep that will take the wine festival, and just so I can be really loud and annoying to my neighbors that I don't like anymore. Like a Sopranos episode when the boat was in the water and they just turned up the music really. Yeah, that's me at this point. But no, I don't really have any of the equipment left, so I could still host a party there, but I don't really have the stuff. I mean, the liquor license is gone. I was expecting to sell the building quite some time ago, but that has not happened. So I have this very empty 10,000 square foot space that's not really empty because it's still filled with a lot of stuff. Things. If anyone needs an office chair, everyone gets an office chair. That's definitely an Oprah thing. You get an office chair. You get an office chair. Everybody, you can have an office chair. I've got so many of the damn things that I just don't know what to do with them. They're in storage. They're upstairs. They're downstairs. They're in the whole building. So, that's another one of those things. So, don't know what to tell you. Just don't know what to tell you. I hear the TV went on upstairs, so that must be my cue to shut the H up and stop being down here. Being like, I forget it's Kevin Spacey, but from who the guy was in American Beauty, lifting weights and smoking pot. I'm not doing either of those two, Mom, just so you know. I'm just down here talking to myself, monologuing for 40 minutes an evening, just because I just need some outlet to do this in, or I will lose my mind further. But that's all right. So, any questions before I head out? Let's see. I did get asked about the stinkiest performer ever in the big room. Did anyone have any guesses? I didn't want to throw anyone under the bus, but I don't know if I had any guesses for that one. Yes, no? If you think about it, it's pretty easy. No? All right. Well, maybe I'll share a photograph and you can all figure it out. But they've been in the big room. There is a big room with them in there. So there you go. What else? Someone asked a question about bands. I forgot. I think it was this Shane Rocky guy. He has about bands, something. But that's what it is. Let's see. Larry David. I'll have the middle. Yes, exactly right. Blah blah blah. Okay. Yes. Right. See, I can actually read the comments now, which is nice. I made it pop out, so I keep reading up on things like how to actually do this and make YouTube work. So I'm slowly figuring out. Audio's okay tonight. I didn't hear any complaints, or at least see any complaints of people saying your audio sucks. Shut up. Talk louder. So that's good. That's good. I think I'm going to depart here and let everyone get on with their evening. It is, in fact, 20 minutes to midnight, so it's almost Friday. And I've got as you, I'm sure, have a busy day tomorrow. But tomorrow night should be a fun one. Tomorrow's the VIP Greater Columbus Arts Council Schmooze and Booze. So that is a see and be seen event. So if you're going to that, I'll see you there, and I'll look handsome. I'm getting my hair cut in the morning by Wes, who used to be the bartender of the big room. Funny story about Wes, and I'll leave you with this one. So Wes Jackson, his grandfather was Johnny Paycheck. Take this job and shove it. For real. So that's the household he grew up in, with his grandpa being Johnny freaking Paycheck. Hence why Wes is so cool. I mean, if you have a grandpa that's Johnny freaking Paycheck, I mean, outlaw country, like the originators of that, one of those guys, yeah, you probably had an interesting childhood with grandpa. Just saying. But yes, Wes is my hairstylist now. So Wes will be cutting my hair tomorrow morning, so it will look more sheveled tomorrow, which is also a shirt that says it. It says sheveled because it's the opposite of disheveled. Get it? I know. It's late. I'm losing my mind. I've lost my mind. God bless. I can only assume that either the heat's on, which I don't think it should be because it's really hot, or that there's a leak and the water is backflowing into the condenser, and that's why it keeps making that noise. So that just means one more thing for me to fix. So on that note, friends, as always, thank you. Have a great evening. Oops. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate you indulging me, and I will see you all tomorrow. Nothing but love, ladies and gentlemen. Nothing but love.